Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the first sit down video of 2026. Harvey and I are about to cook. Yeah, so this is the first sit down video of 2026. Today, we're actually gonna go over the 5 keys to sell coaching programs in 2026. So keep in mind, our agency mainly works with B2B coaching offers. We don't really do as much B2C. So everything I'm gonna refer to works in the B2B space. I'm only gonna refer to B2B, so other business owners helping other business owners. In this case, one of the biggest things really when it comes to coaching right now is how easy can you make everything for you? Because there's so many things online, so many like other videos, other people talking about other stuff like, oh, this works and this and that works. Everything I'm gonna show you is just based on what has worked for us, right? So this isn't like financial advice. This isn't something like, if you don't do this, you're completely fucked. Yeah, this is everything that we've done in the past now as well. And Harvey will put some numbers on the screen and some of the numbers that we've done with some of our clients. So with that being said, let's kick it off. So before we get started, you gotta remember these 3 things, right? Number 1 is don't sell coaching until you're credible. And when I say credible, if you don't have results, if you've never actually, if your offer is like, I'm helping other business owners reach 100K per month. If you've never reached 100K per month for like a year, like 6 months, don't even bother getting into coaching, because the thing is, you have a higher risk of tarnishing your reputation than actually making money. There's so many people out there, and that's why the trust level right now with the info market, with the coaching space is so low, is because there's so many people that get a little bit of result in what they're doing, and then they're like, okay, let me start in the coaching space with their business, that they're like, hey, let me actually start teaching this to other people. Let me start teaching what I know to other people, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with like not gatekeeping the info, but I'm saying like if your information is just basic regurgitated stuff from ChatGPT, or might as well not start the coaching program, because the thing is, that's the information that people can get online. And when people realize that, they're like, man, this information is stupid. This information is shit. So make sure you have the proof, right? Don't sell something that you wouldn't buy, right? Make sure your product is actually good. Next thing is sell to people that are ready to invest, right? So before we go into all the complexities, second thing is you got to make sure that you're selling to people that are ready to buy or ready to take action on actually getting help. Third is the bigger the pain your ICP feels, the more demand there is for relief. So if you don't do that, if there isn't a big enough reason to solve their problems that they're facing right now in their business, they're not gonna seek for help, because in their head, they're gonna think, oh, I can just figure this out with one YouTube video or with a couple of prompts on ChatGPT. So now we're gonna dive into the good stuff. So number 1 key to selling coaching in 2026 is your offer. Right? You need to have a good offer. You need to have an offer that people actually want. So the offer is what are you selling? So in this case, every good offer that we work with has had a desired outcome, a time duration, and a risk reversal. So a desired outcome could be, in this video, we're going to talk about like a construction example. A desired outcome could be somebody that's trying to become a construction company, and right now they're currently a solo contractor. So they have like 2 to 3 guys that are working with them, and now they're trying to get to, 6 to 7 figures as a construction company. A time duration is them trying to do that, trying to become a 6 to 7 figure construction company in 6 months or in 12 months. And then a risk reversal is pretty much like a guarantee, right? So that's the first step to creating a good offer. So the second step is the unique mechanism. So you need to ask yourself, have they been sold this before? If they haven't, perfect, because that's something that, is gonna make your offer unique. If they have, then you need to make your offer unique enough to spark up curiosity. So in this case, you put up a new name for it, right? Because the new name sparks curiosity. So in this case, we're gonna say the name is a 7-figure site plan, because we're talking about this construction offer. So with the desired outcome, time duration, risk reversal, and everything put into place with a unique mechanism. All right, so this is an example of what a good offer is, right? I help busy contractors build a 6-figure per month construction company in 6 months using the 7-figure site plan. If we don't, you get a full refund. If I was a contractor with like 2 or 3 guys under me and I read that, I would be very attracted to that offer, right? Because the thing is, it has my desired outcome, which is, to become a 6-figure per month construction company. It has a time duration because I know when I'm going to hit that goal, which is in 6 months, right? Now, this could be longer. It could be 12 months. It could be 9 months. It could be 3 months, right? Depending on what your offer is. And then obviously it has that unique mechanism, which is the new name, which is the 7-figure site plan. Now, it also has the full risk reversal, which is the full refund, which is good because that keeps people's guard down, because obviously they're not going to take action on just reading that alone, but at least they know they have something to refer to when it comes to the sales calls, where it's like, okay, so when I was first reading about it, there was a full refund. Like, how does that work, right? So now the next question is, who are you going to sell to? And this is talking about your ICP. So what is your ICP? So the ICP is your ideal client profile or ideal customer profile, right? But it's pretty much somebody who you want to sell to and what do they do, right? So the more you can understand your ICP, the more you can hit their current and desired results. That's what you want to know. So this next part, I talk about ICP and pretty much what do you look for in ICP. So this, for us, these are the 5 main things we want to know about ICP for our clients and the people that we work with. Now, there's so much more things that go into an ICP. So that's why what we're going to do is we're actually going to give you guys a free resource. So it's an ICP form to help you figure out who you want to sell to and who your ICP is. So it's going to be in the link down below. It's going to be a Google form. You answer that Google form, and then we're going to email you the answers. And then from there, it'll help you get a better understanding of your ICP. And also, as a bonus for people watching this, you're going to get an AI prompt that will actually help you clean up all your answers, put it into one big PDF. Could be, 5 to 7 pages PDF. So you can really get a big, breakdown, A to Z breakdown of your ICP, and you can present it to anybody. So here are the 5 main things we want to know about an ICP is who they are, right? What do they look like? What do they do, right? What is their day-to-day? Every single day, what's their schedule running their business? What's their current situation? The revenue numbers could be just have like 2 or 3 guys under them, or it could be, having one work truck or one work van. What's their desired situation? They want to, become a full contract or construction company. So, maybe that's like 5, work trucks. Maybe that's full staff. Maybe that's a team of 12 dudes, right? And what's holding them back? So once you know who your ICP is, okay, so the next step is attention. So now you know who your ICP is, you know who you want to sell to, you now have an offer that is really good, is very compelling, and people actually want it. But now it's time to get eyes on that offer. It's time to get people to see what you're selling. So there's 2 ways to sell coaching programs. One, there's organic traffic, right? And this is what I like to call walking. And there's paid traffic, which is running. Today in this video, we're going to talk about walking first, so organic. We're not going to dive too deep into paid because paid deserves its own video. So, same thing with life, bro. You can't run without learning how to walk. So with coaching programs, you can't run paid ads if you don't have a good organic foundation. And what happens is when you don't have a good organic foundation and you just go straight to paid, one, obviously you're betting on more money. You're putting down, $50 to $100, $200 a day on ads. 2, you need a really dialed sales team to actually book the leads that are coming in, right? If there are leads coming in because you don't have a foundation yet. 3rd, you're just dealing with, more complexities when it comes to paid. So when you build an organic foundation when it comes to, scaling coaching programs in 2026, it's good because the thing is like, once you have organic figured out, then what happens is the paid traffic, the paid aspect of your business just piggybacks off your organic traffic. Let me clear this black thing off here. So it's very simple. And every one of these things that I talk about, by the way, they're gonna get their own separate video, because the thing is there's just so many things packed into this short video. This is kind of just like a first sit down video we want to do, right? So back to what I was saying. So organic traffic, right? One of the big things you need to do is volume. So when we say volume, you need to post every day, right? You need to post every day for 30 days, because the thing is, what volume gives you is it gives you data. So if you're posting every single day, you're gonna know what works and what doesn't work. So now what you do for your coaching program is you're gonna figure out what works and what doesn't, and you're gonna double down on what's working. So whatever content is working, you're gonna double down on that. But you also have to make sure that the content you're posting has to be relatable to your ICP. If you're selling the 7-figure site plan, a construction scaling program, and you're dancing on TikTok, I know damn well those dudes are gonna be, making fun of you. They're not gonna buy from you if you're dancing on TikTok trying to sell a construction program, right? So it has to be very tailored to your ICP. So the topics you're talking about has to be tailored to your ICP, and it has to give out solutions to their problems. Because now that you have a very good understanding of your ICP, you know their problems A to Z. So you need to figure out what their problems are and really create content around those problems and solve those problems in the content. Because now what happens is the people that are watching your content will put you at the top as like an authority, because they're like, holy shit, he actually knows what he's talking about, because the things that he talks about in his content, I fully face every single day. So now what happens is you as the offer owner, as the business owner, is gonna be the go-to guy or girl, when it comes to fixing problems in a construction and a contracting company, right? So you have to make sure you give out solutions to their problems. Lastly is give out lead magnets. So lead magnets, I'm not gonna dive too deep into it. Lead magnets is literally what the word is. It's a magnet to get more leads. And usually it's a free resource. So it could be like a free guide, a free SOP, a free training, right? This video could be a lead magnet, right? So it's very important, because the thing is when it comes to starting conversations, that's where you start conversations, is for people that opt in for a lead magnet. Those are the people that are clearly facing pain or facing a struggle in their construction business, in their business, and they need help with it, or they need a fixing for that problem. So think of it like this, right? The people that are watching your videos, your followers, are facing this massive wound, this massive pain, and a lead magnet is kind of just like a band-aid to that pain, to that big pain. But the real solution is you. So you're gonna be giving them the band-aid, but also that gives you the permission to follow up with them and actually see if they can actually get help from you. So that's attention. Moving on. So third thing we're gonna talk about is proof. So now that you have something that you're selling, you have a group of people that you wanna sell to, and now you have people actually seeing whatever you're selling online through your content. Now, you need to prove to these guys that whatever you're selling actually works, because the thing is, if it doesn't, it's never gonna sell. So does it actually work? So you need to showcase proof of concept. So without proof of concept, like I said, the offer won't sell. It'll never sell. And what you need to show is, you need to show client wins, you need to show revenue numbers, or just numbers as a whole, right? If you're selling a community, or if you're offering a community as well in the back end, or like the community is your main offer, you need to show an active community. That's very important. You need to show people in the community actually chatting, people in the community actually like engaging, right? Think about it like this. Your community has to be like your group chat with all your friends, or like a family group chat where you guys are sending in reels. Obviously in that community, you're not gonna be sending reels, but the thing is, everybody's engaging. And that's what's very compelling to people, is when they see a group of people exactly like them, talking, mingling, bouncing ideas off each other, brainstorming. They're gonna see that and they're gonna get a FOMO. They're like, holy shit, this is something that I've always wanted in my business. I wanna be surrounded by people that are doing the same thing as me, that are in the same boat as me, people that can relate to me. So showing an active community is really good, because the thing is, that's a major aspect when it comes to selling coaching programs, is having like a community backend. Because one, it holds accountability. Two, it just makes the whole experience way better and more fun. So the testimonials has to be transformational. It can't just be, hey, John helped me reach $120,000 per month, go John, or go for John's program. It has to be, you guys sitting down, whether that's an in-person interview or whether that's like a Riverside or like a Zoom. And from there, in that testimonial video, ideally you want it between like 5 to 10 minutes long. You're gonna talk about the student story, your client story. What was life before working with you? What made them realize they needed help, right? And what was life like after working with you? Just those core 3 things talk about that for 5 to 10 minutes. Let the client actually talk about their experience, and you know, people that watch a testimonial are going to realize that this is very authentic. This is as raw as possible, right? People don't want manufactured testimonials. Manufactured testimonials don't even work anymore, because the thing is a lot of them sound and look manufactured, which they are. So the best thing to do is literally just have, you know, 3 to 4 questions lined up like the ones I gave you, and then just ask them those questions in the call, right? And then just record it, boom, post it on YouTube. There you go, testimonial done. Now, in the testimonial as well, you need to show that your ICP is reaching its desired situation. So its desired scenario. So whatever you're promising, which is 100K per month in 6 months, those testimonials need to show that exact thing, that you got John, or let's say you got Greg, to 100K per month with his construction company in 6 months. If it doesn't show that, not a good testimonial. If you're preaching, yeah, I'm gonna help you get 100K per month with your construction company in 6 months, and you have like 5 to 7 testimonials, and all the testimonials like, yeah, you know, John helped me get to 50K, to 40K, right? It doesn't make any sense, because you're selling a product that is promising 100K per month, but all the people that have worked with you are talking about, yeah, we only got to 40 to 50. The shit's not gonna sell. So then the reason why testimonials are so important is because of this, right? I told this at the start of the video. The coaching space is at an all-time low in trust. You know, everybody's exhausted. Everybody's been sold to, you know, after COVID, right? Like these coaching programs have been around for so long. Like Tony Robbins, right? Tony Robbins, Dave Ramsey, all these guys have been selling info and coaching programs for so long, right? So this is not new. But the thing is, now, the past couple of years, people have just, you know, straight up sold, you know, BS information that's just regurgitated from ChatGPT, right? And it's actually not good. So that's the reason why you need to have really good testimonials, is because that's what's going to set you apart from these other people, plus unique mechanism with your offer. So you got to show them that whatever you're preaching works. So like I said, going back to what I said about, you know, your testimonials must say you got this client to 100K per month, 150K per month in 6 months, right? If it doesn't, and if your 5 to 7 testimonials only says, yeah, he helped me get to 40 to 50K, it's not good enough. You need to, you know, figure something out in your fulfillment to make sure these guys are actually getting to 100K. So that's proof. Next thing we're going to is call funnels. So now that you have proof, right? You have something to show these people that, you know, the shit you're selling actually works. Now, how can you get people to actually buy your stuff? Whenever you're selling high ticket items, like 5K, over 5K, a lot of the times, especially if it's organic, people aren't gonna buy direct to checkout. There's certain situations, which I'll show you later down in this video, where people will buy direct to checkout. But if they're just reaching out to you in the DMs, they won't buy direct to checkout. Most likely they will need a call. So this is what call funnels are. So this is how you're gonna close these deals. And 2 assets that you need for this specific funnel is an appointment setter. I would say that is very mandatory, and a closer. Closer is optional. You can do the closing. Now, I believe that if your product's good enough and you believe in your product, and you have 100% conviction in your product and whatever you're selling, that you can close the deals. Because the thing is, conviction is the #1 thing when it comes to sales. So let me move this black thing again. So call funnels, right? And I'm going to show you guys a very basic call funnel that we've been using for some time now. We've used it in our own agency for other people and everybody that we've worked with as well. So this is very basic stuff, by the way, right? But you know, sometimes a lot of people don't know how to do the basics. They want to go into these complicated stuff that they see online on YouTube, that, oh, you got to do this system, you do that system. But you got to stick to what's working. Same thing with content. You got to stick to what's working, just keep double down on what's working, and find a way to make it even better. So point of contact. So when it comes to the content that you're creating, and the reason why I said lead magnets, keep that, you know, that word in mind, lead magnets. So the point of contact is either somebody asking you for help, sending you a DM saying, say my name is John, right? Hey John, need help with my construction company. I see you've been doing this with other contractors. I'm kind of interested in what you do. That's a good inbound lead. That's a good inbound DM. So that's a conversation starter, and it's somebody actually reaching out to you. Or there's a lead magnet opt-in. So with the power of ManyChat, which I'll be creating a whole video about it because honestly, I love ManyChat. It's one of the best tools out there. So how it works, to quickly break ManyChat down, is you upload a video. At the end of the video, there's a call to action. You comment this word, boom, you comment the word, let's just say the word keyword, right? Then the account that you commented to, the post you commented to, will send you a message, and then from there, that's how the ManyChat works. So when it comes to lead magnets, how it works is they opt in through the keyword, then from there a DM starts. So now what happens is your appointment setter will go into the DMs with the DMs already started up by ManyChat, and they're gonna build rapport, which is the next thing over. So building rapport is so important when it comes to DM setting and to just appointment setting as a whole, especially in today's day and age when it comes to selling coaching programs. It's pretty much obviously building relationships through the DMs. And the reason why you need to do this is because it actually makes the qualification process down the line a lot easier. Because what happens is, so the better rapport you make with the people that you're talking to in the DMs, the easier it is to ask these hard questions that you're gonna ask in the qualification process. There's tons of ways to build rapport, right? I like to just, like when I'm setting, or when our guys are setting, when our appointment setters are setting for these guys, what we do is we just, quickly look at their page, kind of see what they're doing, like some lifestyle stuff, some business stuff, talk about that in the DMs for a little bit. Just like, hey, I saw that you got a new truck, right? How you like this new truck? Hey, I saw that you just went on a trip to Mexico with the family. Like where in Mexico did you guys go to? To kind of just build that rapport, right? It actually shows that you really give a fuck about the person that you're talking to in the DMs. And it also starts off very human. A lot of appointment setters out there now, and a lot of like call funnels and they never build rapport. And that's the reason why you have such low booking rates, is because the people that you're talking to literally know that it's not you talking, it's an appointment setter. And that appointment setter is shit. So qualify the prospect is the next thing. So this is the discovery phase of the appointment setting. So there's 4 things you need to figure out. You need to figure out their current state. You need to figure out their desired state. You need to figure out the intent and how much are they willing to solve the pain they're feeling right now. How much are they willing to, how much time are they willing to put in to go from where they are right now to where they want to be. And then lastly, obviously financially qualify. So once you do all 4 of those things, then you can move on to the next part, which is booking the appointment. So for our sales team, the cardinal rule is a 72-hour window. So you can only book in a 72-hour window. There is there's obviously exceptions to that, depending on the demographic, depending on other things. But generally, we like to book in a 72-hour window. So what we do is if you're booking on a Monday, the latest you can book will be on Thursday. So that gives us enough time to obviously nurture, but also it's not like so far from like a week from now, 2 weeks from now, where it's like, things can pop up, right? People talk themselves out of life-changing opportunities all the time. So that 72-hour window mitigates that and just pretty much gets straight to the point. What we do as well is we tie down. So once we have the appointment set, we tie down. We ask them a question: is there anything that can get in the way of you attending this call? Obviously, there's tons of ways to say this, but this is an important part of booking appointments, because now what happens is if they're like, yes, there is something, I have a doctor's appointment, then what you can do is you can rebook for a better time where there's nothing that can get in the way. If there's nothing that can get in the way, perfect, right? Confirm the appointment, you book them into the calendar, and then the main, KPI we're looking for is 20% booking rate. For everybody that you're talking to, if you're talking to 100 people a day, you want to make sure that you're booking 20 of those people. And the thing is, if you're not booking 20 of those people, multiple things. You either have a shit appointment setter, or you just have bad quality of people in your pipeline. So next is the pre-call nurture. So this is right when the appointment is booked, this is what you have to do. And this is what we like to do. And because it helps us out with, show up rates, closing rates. So we like to send in FAQs, so frequently asked questions, as far as the whole offer, the person as a whole, the offer owner as a whole. Send in like FAQs about the actual business model or the actual program, right? Or just literally anything that people ask, during this like call process. You just put it all into that FAQs so it can answer them for that prospect. Obviously, testimonials that you have recorded, and make sure that testimonials are transformational. going back to what I said about testimonials, if your testimonials is just, is plain as, yeah, John helped me, get my business to 120K per month. I suggest you go into John for anything. Like that's not good at all. So the testimonial has to be transformational. And just rewind this video back to that part talking about testimonials. And then of course we like to send them free resources right away. So that's like SOPs. We like to send them other things that can help them out in their business right away. So what happens is once they read those free resource, we get a quick win. Once somebody gets a quick win based on the things that you've told them, you're already gonna have a sense of authority over, because they're gonna realize, okay, he really knows what he's talking about. Keep in mind, these guys are still watching your content too. So they're watching your content, they're watching the FAQs, they've seen the testimonials, they're consuming the free resources, right? So that right there is nurturing them a ton. Okay, so lastly is you have to frame the call. So you send in like a short little video, a minute long, of explaining of how the call goes, right? You break it down, okay, this is how the call goes. First step, we figure out current situation, what it's looking like, and then from there, we'll see if we can truly help you out. If you can't help you out, we'll point you out to the right direction. If we can, then we'll move on, right? So this is something that's like optional, but we do like to send this in as well. And the main KPI you're looking for here is an 80% show rate, over 80% show rate. When it comes to B2B, when it comes to you're selling to other business owners, the show up rate is pretty good, because the thing is, business owners respect time. Unlike these B2C guys that are learning how to day trade or how to, run ads online, right? No hate, by the way. I'm just saying, like, the B2C demographic, they just tend to be laggy on time. But with B2B, show up rate tends to be pretty good, but we always want to make sure we get that taken care of. The appointment confirmation. So the morning of that appointment, let's say it's on Wednesday, then the appointment setter will actually call that prospect, and they'll say, or let's say the name is Greg. Hey Greg, this is Gift here from John's team. Just want to make sure that, we're still good today for 2 p.m. We're making some arrangements right now in our calendar, and I want to make sure that you're good to go. So, we keep that appointment slot locked down for you. Boom. They're like, yeah, I'm good to go. Then obviously appointment confirmed. And that's when you get to the closing call, which I won't be going over today. So this is kind of just like quick little overview, but I could go into the closing stuff later, but I'm not like a natural closer, so I'm not going to get into that. So the last part, so now that's a basic call funnel, right? So what we'll do is we'll attach a resource about this call funnel down the link as well that y'all could download after this video. So then you can always refer back to that resource as well if you do need help setting that up. Next thing is the conversion machine, bro. This is the free course to paid. This is another funnel as well. And this works really well, man. Like, this is one of the things that not a lot of people implement, because the thing is, it does take a little bit of time. And let me move this thing out the way here. So what it looks like is you're gonna create a free 7-day program. So that's a free 7-day course pretty much. And it follows the rule of sevens, right? 7 touch points, 7 hours, 7 days. There's a bunch of resources in here. And what it's gonna do is this is gonna act like your landing page in a way. So you're gonna have this in the links, you're gonna draw as much traffic to this, right? And what happens is, in this specific 7-day program, you can launch it on School, WAP, Kajabi, or anywhere, right? You're gonna drop actual value. The value that you drop in there has gotta be better than a lot of people's paid stuff. Because the thing is, that will already set you apart. You shouldn't gatekeep information if you know that it's life-changing. Because the thing is, the more blessings you give out there, the more blessed you're gonna be. So it has to be better than most people's paid resources, and it actually has to work. It has to have some form of transformational result in that 7-day program. And on the 7th and final module, which is on the 7th final day, you're gonna insert a pitch about your coaching program halfway through the module. Right now, not everybody's gonna get through the 7 days. Some people might skip through, watch 1, 2, and then skip to the 7th. Who gives a shit, right? But you want to talk to the people who go from 1 through 7, because those are going to be people that are going to be well nurtured. They actually have intent to fix problems, And those are gonna be people that are gonna be the best to talk to because they took their time to watch, you know, a 7-day program that you made completely for free. So how this works is they sign up for free. And on sign up, you must collect their name, email, and phone. And then once you collect all that, obviously you're gonna send them the login information, and you're also gonna email them a free resource. You're gonna get them a quick win right away. Boom. Here's the free course, and here's also a resource that goes along with it. Now what happens is if you email it, it primes their email. So now all the other future emails that we send these people, whenever we do wanna, you know, launch an email campaign, they won't land in the spam. They have a higher chance of landing in inbox when a person has, you know, has read through your email, has clicked the link from that email. It has a higher chance of landing into the inbox, right? So that's just like a little quick tip of, you know, little game there. So now once they've signed up, then obviously you have a way to track it. So once you sign up, an appointment setter or yourself will follow up 3 days after they sign up. Now you're not going to sell them anything in this first follow-up, right? What you're going to do is you're going to follow up as a check-in, just to check in if they're actually in the program, if they're actually in the mix watching the stuff. You're going to see how they're liking it, what they've learned so far. And what you're going to do is you're also going to temp check on their goals. So you're going to ask them like their current state, what they're doing right now, their business, and their desired state, where they're trying to go. So now you're going to make a note, or your setter is going to make a note in the CRM, like, you know, Jonathan is currently doing 15K per month as a contractor, has one part-time worker, right? He's looking to, you know, so he's looking to do 7 figures next year. And right now his biggest time constraint is doesn't have enough time to scale, whatever, right? But you're gonna temp check on their current state and the desired state. So you're gonna figure out already what they're looking to do, and then you're gonna make a note. So now that qualifies people early on in the process. So now on the 7th day, you know who to talk to, you know who your hottest leads are, and you know who you want to nail down on as far as like the call and you want to close. So on the 7th and final day, on the final module, right, this is where you go to pitch, right? And then you pitch, right? You either pitch a direct to calendar or a direct to checkout, and you have to kind of split test on what works and what doesn't work. And when it comes to online business, split testing is the method. You have to split test everything, right? Because the thing is, if you have 2 great ideas, you got to figure out which great idea works first. So you split test the direct to calendar or the direct to checkout links. So direct to calendar, just to, you know, be brief, direct to calendar is they book into a calendar, then you do the sales call. Direct to checkout is they just click a checkout link and they check out with your product. That's nice and easy. We love direct to checkout. So if they do click direct to calendar, then it goes back up to the call funnel that we were talking about earlier. So on that same module as well, once you've pitched them, you have to give them a gift. No pun intended. You have to give them a gift, because the thing is, they've stayed throughout the 7 days. They've watched all 7 hours of this free program. Here's my gift for you watching all this content. It is, and what we like to do is the gift is a dollar amount towards your pitch. So in this case, let's say the 7-figure site plan is $9,000. So we're gonna give them $4,000 towards the seat at the 7-figure site plan, which drops the price down to $5,000. So that's a $4,000 discount, right? And you guys can manufacture this however you want to, but that's just a good way to frame a discount as a gift for them sticking around, for them watching all the modules, right? So that's a really good way to do it. Now, if there is a way as well, in whichever platform you use, to have a way where you can only watch one module once you finish the module before, when they can't skip to like module 7, that would be really good, because the thing is, they're forced to watch it all through. So that's a little side note there. Give out a gift for the people that are that made it all the way to the end of your program, and then usually that's just like a discount. So $4,000 off your seat at the 7-figure site plan, which, you know, 4,000 minus 9,000, that's 5. So now for anybody that doesn't convert, so anybody that doesn't, let's say you're doing direct to calendar, anybody that doesn't book, direct to checkout, anybody that doesn't buy, you're gonna get the setter to follow up with them manually. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna dial. They're gonna call them up. They're gonna frame the call as a check-in call, right? Hey, Greg, I love that, you know, you just finished the program. Just kind of want to check in and kind of ask you what are some of your big takeaways in that program, if there's any way we can make it better as well, just for some feedback. And then in that same phone call as well, the appointment setter will qualify them, because obviously they need, like, the thing is with these lead magnets, with these like free to paid funnels, is that everybody that's in there has some form of problem they need to fix. And going back to what I said earlier, the bigger the problem somebody has, the more desire there is to fix that problem. So in that same phone call that the setter makes, or you make, you have to make sure that you also try and qualify them for the actual product, which most likely they are if they're in that program. So then from there, you just go into, if they're qualified, you obviously book them into your calendar, then go through the call funnel again. And then if they don't close, or if you guys don't book them in, then what happens is you can just put them into a pile of leads where you follow up later down the road, or you send them a bunch of emails as well as an email campaign. So that is 5 keys to selling coaching programs in 2026. I know I kind of sped through this all, but this is just like a really good video to kick off the year as far as these sit down videos. Like the videos that you guys are going to see in this channel is going to be a lot of both, where it's like we do vlogs, like last video you just saw. Actually, I don't know what video you saw last time. We got a video in the pipeline, but yeah, there's going to be lifestyle stuff as well as sit down stuff, sit down breakdowns like these. But yeah, so, you know, a couple of takeaways from this as a whole is that if whatever you're selling isn't valuable to people, if it's not actually transformational and it's not solving a problem in your ICP, it's never going to sell. So you need to make sure that whatever you're selling actually works, and it's something that your total addressable market actually needs. Because if they don't need it, it's just going to be another offer saturating the market. And then talking about saturation, market saturation isn't a real thing when you have a good offer, a unique mechanism, and you're genuinely more competent than other people. A lot of people that are saturating a market, 97% of people saturating a market are not good. You're only competing with the top 3%. So you got to keep in mind that the video you just watched, if you implement a lot of the stuff that we talked about in here, I'm not here to make any guarantees, but I will say that you will see a difference in your coaching business. If you guys do like this breakdown stuff, so press the subscribe button below. All the resources as well that we talked about, it will be in the description, so you guys can view those as well and use that as a reference to everything in this video. Also follow me on Instagram at Giftillo, and yeah, there's gonna be more to come for these videos. Cheers. Also, one more thing, if there's anything that you guys want us to cover more, comment down below. And if you do implement these in your business as well, comment down below how it would help you out. If there's anything that we can make better with these videos, anything else that you guys want us to cover, let us know.